Welcome, everyone. It is January 24th, and this is the Sunday afternoon Morgellons call. I'm Robin from Western Mass, and our topic for today is glutathione, and Richard's going to speak about that, mostly Richard, and here we go.
Hi, Robin. Thank you. It's great to be here today. We'll just jump right into the topic. Now, Robin, if you ask me, and people do ask me oftentimes, what is the most important supplement to take? Well, just glutathione. Well, actually, you can't take glutathione well, you can take it, but it's not the way to get it. What the heck is glutathione? You know, gluta what? When I first, took me probably a month to pronounce it, and I first learned about it from one of the people in the program who contacted me to tell me that she thought glutathione had cured her of Morgellons. Well, I was interested, and I'm always interested in information of that nature, but I usually take it as a grain of salt because until I get confirmation from several people, okay, so one person got better. She went one step further and sent me a sample, a month's supply of a product. It was the predecessor to our MaxOne product. Well, before I go on, because, Robin, do you think glutathione is the only thing you need to do to get your life back?
No.
What's important?
The diet. The
diet
is super important.
Yes, I don't want to lead anybody to believe that all you got to do is boost your glutathione and you're going to get your life back. It's a multifaceted program, and this is just one of the essential nutrients to deal with. So she had sent me a bottle of glutathione, and well, what the heck? I didn't expect anything from it, and I took it for a month. Now, at the time, I was dealing with the worst case of Lyme disease you could ever imagine. I mean, I had just beaten the skin parasites and figured out how to stay free of the itching and biting and got that out of my life completely. And then here comes Lyme disease. My knees were inflamed 100%. I couldn't write my name. My motor coordination was out the window, pain 24/7. So I had no anticipation of this bottle making a difference in my life. So I said, what the heck, it's free, I'll take it. I took 2 capsules a day for about a month, and somehow, I guess in communication, she sent me another bottle. Around week number 6, I noticed the pain was gone. 95% of the pain and inflammation from Lyme disease was gone. Well, that really piqued my interest. What the heck is this stuff called glutathione? My background was in stress management. I operated a stress management center from the late 70s into the mid-90s. We talked about nutrition, which is a stress factor, the foods that we eat. We dealt with candida, we dealt with hypoglycemia, we dealt with vitamin C, vitamin A, things of that nature. I was familiar with Linus Pauling. Linus Pauling saying, well, if you have an infection, you know, you might want to boost up the vitamin C to 8,000 milligrams a day. And that was the kind of thinking. And I never, ever heard of this thing called glutathione. How could I be so ignorant? Have never heard about it. So I started looking into it. And I found, you know, vitamin C, there are 50,000 studies in PubMed about the benefits of vitamin C. And Linus Pauling, a Nobel Prize winner, pretty smart man, right? 80,000 studies about glutathione. But you never hear people talk about it, the importance of glutathione. What is it? Is it a supplement? Is it what the heck is it? Is it a vitamin? So I looked into it. It's a tripeptide molecule. It's comprised of 3 amino acids. And those 3 amino acids combine in the cellular structure to form glutathione. Now, 2 of those amino acids are readily available in the cell, but there's a 3rd one that is limited. And because of its limitation, glutathione can't be produced unless it's there. So that 3rd one is called L-glycine. No, L-lysine. L-lysine. Can you read where we... L-cysteine. Oh, boy, okay. I was having major problems with my video earlier, and I'm kind of stressed out, to tell you the truth. So, you know, we need to do the deep breathing a little later on to get my level down. So, L-cysteine. Where do we get L-cysteine? What kind of foods? Do you have the list there, Robin?
I'm looking.
Well, there's pork, there's meat, there's chicken, avocado, there's broccoli, and there are some other vegetables. But you know how it is. If you want enough vitamin C, you got to, eat about 1,000 oranges a day. So if you want to get enough L-lysine, L-cysteine, you got to eat tons of this stuff to get enough. And further research found that for some strange reason, from age 20 on, our bodies produce about 10% less glutathione every decade, which, well, I'm in my 60s. That meant I was pretty wiped out, I guess. And now glutathione, we'll get into the purpose of what it does and why it's important, but what wipes it out? Well, it's used up by, let's say, poor habits. If your sleeping is not well, tell me one person dealing with Morgellons and skin parasites whose sleeping is great, okay? Poor diet, well, I get a lot of questionnaires, and a lot of people have a big sweet tooth. And I keep telling them, you need to talk to that tooth. You need to let the tooth know that it's more important for you to get rid of itching and biting than make it happy with sugars. So you got to have a little talk with your tooth. Radiation. Well, there's all kinds of radiation. Solar radiation, sunspots, radiation from microwave ovens, radiation from everything, telephones, and now we're looking at 4G, 5G, 3G, all these radiations, they deplete the body of glutathione. Why? Well, because glutathione helps protect you against these things, but it gets used up. We're just so bombarded. What else? Pollution. You know, today we are exposed to probably 150 times more pollution than our great-grandfather was. I mean, just look at this world. And we're dealing with pollutants. And so there's pollution in terms of exhaust fumes from automobiles, from power plants, from chemical plants, all floating through the air, the acid rain, all this stuff, all pollutants, depletes vitamin C from our bodies. Illness. If you have a physical illness, it's going to deplete. Any kind of sickness, whether it be cancer or Morgellons or diabetes or any kind of sickness, is going to deplete. Medications. The acetaminophen, Tylenol. Yes, good old standby Tylenol. It's a killer. And there's some blog posts, if you go back, about how dangerous these things are in depleting the glutathione. Medications that your doctor gives you, that he requires you to get blood tests every now and then, most likely are affecting your liver. glutathione. You know, the liver is the body's glutathione's, I guess, modulator. The liver has a responsibility of taking it from the cells and putting it into the bloodstream, and so you don't want to deplete your glutathione. Now, what else is on that list, Barbara? I mean, Robin?
Over-exercising.
Yes, it's over-exercising. Absolutely, over-exercising. In fact, this particular supplement is used very much in the people who keep their bodies fit and go to the gym and work out a lot. They boost their glutathione, and it allows them to recover from their exercise much faster. What else is on the list?
That's mostly the list of what can deplete it, but then there's what happens when it's depleted.
Yes. What happens when it's depleted? Let's go through that list.
It can cause autoimmune disorders, autism, heart disease, macular degeneration. It makes you more susceptible to Lyme disease and Morgellons, and pretty much any kind of inflammation in your body.
And do you know that practically every disease, D-I-S-E-A-S-E, to, like, you know, separate that, dis-ease, is connected with inflammation. So glutathione is incredibly super important. So once I had this experience and got my life back 95% by boosting my glutathione, and this lady had told me that it had helped her get over Morgellons. She called it cured, but we don't get cured. Nobody ever gets cured with Morgellons. I was so intrigued that I sponsored a study. That was back around 2009, and I maybe about 15 or 20 people who at that time were dealing with Morgellons and on the diet added the supplement to boost their glutathione. And it was an overwhelming hit, overwhelming success, incredible. So that's when it actually became the first supplement, in addition to the multiple vitamins and minerals that was added to my protocol, was to boost glutathione. And then further researching, I found that there's studies that actually find that glutathione inhibits the production of Morgellons. Hey, we got a double winner here. Fantastic. So what the heck does glutathione do in the body that makes it so powerful? Well, the first thing it does is it is in your cell, it's inside the cells themselves. And why I think it hasn't been something that doctors push is that, or, you know, people say, well, take vitamin C, take vitamin D to boost your immune functioning and things like that. These are things easy to find over the counter. It's not so easy to find glutathione. You can buy glutathione supplements with reduced glutathione, and you can take them. The problem is that the stomach sees this big tripeptide molecule as food, and it eats it up. So very little, maybe you might get a boost of 20 to 30% of glutathione in your levels by taking a supplement. So you don't get a big boost. You're not going to get much result. Additionally, for those of us with Morgellons, the ingredients in those supplements actually feed the parasites. So it's just not feasible. So there's a long-standing way of using N-acetylamine, NAC, to boost glutathione. It comes up with questionable results. It's not really that dependable unless there are other ingredients that go along with NAC. So it's not it's probably the most well-recognized technique, but not the most dependable technique to build glutathione. So then I researched and found there's a whey product. I forget the name of the product, W-H-E-Y, but whey feeds Morgellons, so that's out. So the only one that I'm aware of is the MaxOne that we have in the store, and we also have a nanoglutathione. The nanoglutathione, you take in a dropper and put it under the tongue, but it's got some ingredients in it that are not compatible with the diet. So after you have it under your tongue for 90 seconds, you'd want to spit it out. You wouldn't want to consume those ingredients because they could feed the organisms. So what does glutathione do in the body? Well, it has many major things. First of all, it's the body's main detoxifying agents. It detoxifies the nickel, the cadmium, the lead, the arsenic. That's right. If you have suspected of arsenic poisoning and you're rushed off to the hospital, the first thing they're going to do is give you a glutathione shot intravenously. That's another way of getting glutathione, taking it intravenously, but that means going to the doctor frequently to get those shots. So it's not that practical, and probably about $120 a shot or so. And you might need one every week or more, who knows. So detoxify. Now, if you look at Lyme disease and you do research about Lyme disease, you'll see that the spirochete loves toxicity. It loves being in a cesspool. So I surmise that when I started that glutathione, it got rid of that cesspool that Lyme disease loves and started starving the organism or cleaning it out or whatever the heck it did, but just made it that it was an uninhabitable environment for the spirochete to live. It also gets rid of pesticides, so it detoxifies you from pollutants and chemicals that have gotten into your body through the foods or additives that are in the foods that we eat. So, number one, it's the body's main detoxifier. Secondly, it's the body's main anti-inflammation. Now, there is another anti-inflammatory internal in the cellular structure. It's SOD. I forget how to pronounce that, but it's an enzyme, and it's an anti-inflammatory. And there is another Morgellons protocol that goes that route. And okay, if it's affordable, fine, it doesn't hurt to add SOD to what you are taking. But when I look at the choice of the two, I would boost my glutathione 100 times over because it has so many more benefits and advantages over the anti-inflammatory of SOD. Now, there are many anti-inflammatory. Milk thistle, there are a lot of herbs. Milk thistle used to be a part of the protocol many years ago. So there are other anti-inflammatories. Even our cistus tea is an anti-inflammatory. So, but again, glutathione is tops. None better. Now, what else does it do? Well, it enhances the ability of hemoglobin to carry oxygen. Wow, that's great. You know, you want those little red blood cells carrying that oxygen all around, oxygenating your cells. That's super. You need that. It helps build immune functioning. Wow, that's great too. It is also, what else does it do there, Robin?
It protects our DNA from free radical damage.
Oh, how could I miss that one? Absolutely. What is Morgellons disease? Well, you know, people call it a parasite. It really isn't a parasite. It's often connected to a parasitosis. It will hijack parasitic organisms and utilize them in its endeavors, but it's basically a genetically modified thing, whatever it is, basically genetically modifies. That means it climbs in your DNA and rewrites it. Now, there are a lot of things that climb in your DNA and rewrite it. So, the hydrogen peroxide molecule, for instance, can rewrite your DNA. They're called free radicals. There are a lot of free radicals floating around, and they will rewrite your DNA. And when you have no protection from your DNA, well, you got a problem. So glutathione stands there as the soldier that protects your DNA from being rewritten from free radical damage, which is often the oxidative stress going on. That's what they refer to, oxidative stress, when your DNA is being rewritten. Now, so you want the glutathione there for that. The other thing that the glutathione does, which is dramatically and most important, is in every cell of your body, there are probably, I mean, it's hard to imagine a tiny little cell, you know, you can't really see the little tiny thing. You got to look at it under a microscope. But, you know, in the parts of it, there are probably around 1,000 tiny little furnaces. They're called mitochondria. Some people refer to them as viruses. You call them a friendly virus. It creates it's the energy. It creates the energy of the cellular structure. And when that mitochondria is lazy or not being fueled properly, it's not at peak performance, and your cell is sluggish. You have a sluggish. If it burns too fast, you have premature death of the cell. So glutathione modulates the mitochondria, which is fantastic. So it's amazing how valuable this substance called glutathione is and how many things it does. Is there anything I missed?
Well, it also it allows vitamins A, C, and
absolutely. Let's go back.
Metabolized.
Let's go back. Linus Pauling, 8,000 milligrams a day. The man said. The Nobel Prize winner said. Now I know that Linus Pauling, as brilliant as he was totally ignorant about glutathione, because glutathione recycles vitamin C. The only reason you need all that extra vitamin C is if you are deficient in glutathione. So you only need about 300 milligrams of vitamin C. In fact, the MaxOne formula comes with 300 milligrams of vitamin C. And the vitamin C is the one that actually is the protector of the DNA from free radical damage from the oxygen side of the oxidative stress. So glutathione is there all day long recycling vitamin C. Alpha lipoic acid. What's the other supplement or nutrient? Vitamin A. So, and vitamin E. Look at these three important substances. Glutathione is instrumental in maximizing their utilization in your body. Without sufficient glutathione, you know, I was about to become a dead cookie with Lyme disease because of this. So by boosting your glutathione, it's you know, people go to the nutritionist, they come out with about maybe 50 bottles of things to take every month. If he knew to boost the glutathione, you wouldn't need all those 50 things. You'd only need about 10 perhaps. It's amazing that simply by boosting glutathione, there are so many benefits and advantages. Now, how do we get the glutathione? How do we get enough sufficient glutathione? As I went over the different sources, and it's the MaxOne product is the most Now, what makes MaxOne is it is not a glutathione supplement. It is a glutathione booster. A brilliant scientist in Japan patented a technique in which he binds D-Ribose, which is a very valuable sugar, a rare sugar, with L-cysteine. He binds them together. They get into the cell of every cell of your body. Now, this is brilliant because the D-Ribose just turns out to be the sugar that fuels the mitochondria. You make the mitochondria happy, and they produce ATP. And ATP is of invaluable resources for your body to function. Without it, well, your muscle coordination, all kinds of problems are out the window. So this is a dual-edged supplement. So it serves the mitochondria, makes them happy, produces ATP, does all that. ATP does all of its good stuff, and the L-cysteine gets into the cellular structure, produces glutathione. We got a party. So, yes, it's the most valuable supplement that one can have. Now, if anybody has any questions, if you texted Chris, I'd be glad to answer them. Otherwise, we'll be ending this segment, or if you'd like to share your experience in working with glutathione. I remember one time after I had been reinfected, and I was having trouble having the diet kick in. I did everything I could. I was as strict as I possibly could be on the diet I discovered, and it just wasn't kicking in. And I was kind of sad. I was at my desk at work, and there was a bottle of MaxOne in front of me. And for no reason, I just took one capsule. Kicked in the diet. Anyone like to share? Ask a question?
About glutathione?
About glutathione. Okay, this ends this portion of the program.